In the last episode, we lost to the Anaheim Ducks in the first round. Mike Milbury and the changes that he made ultimately not paying off. Now, leading up to this episode, I spent some time sitting here thinking, I was going to say with my mind on my money on my mind, I'm the whitest person alive. I was thinking about, number one, this comment, how, if I ever say something that incredibly dumb, it's a sign that I was recording very, very late for me and should have probably just gone to bed. But I also wanted to look over the comments because, there was the big kind of question and debate that's been happening for a while, of course, really at the end of every episode, but it was especially pertinent at the end of the last episode. What do we do in terms of when do I get control? When does Mike get control? What are the rules? How are we going to do this? Etc. There was a comment from, and it's not the first time that this comment's come up. And I do agree with the general point of it. So I guess what I'm getting to here, to just kind of cut to the chase, I have decided how I want to carry out the rest of this series for however long we happen to go, which will be still for a little bit. Still for a bit. I mean, I don't know if it'll be through the majority of the month of May. I still need to go back through and do some roster editing, like the end of season updates that, basically are happening at this stage. So it'll be a little bit before we start something new. Not to necessarily wait until the draft, which would kind of suck, but, hey, we'll see what happens here on that front. Point being, we are going to kind of move into phase 2 of this series, where I don't get control of this team again in terms of trades, free agent signings, and whatever. What I do get to control are the line combinations and the coaching staff. Because as you've seen, the AI, obviously they still kind of play by the rules, and there's the staff logic. Basically, you saw in the last season how detrimental a bad coaching staff can be to a really good team. That was a big part of the reason as to why we crashed and burned in the playoffs. So what we're going to do is pretty simple. Again, it's been suggested a few times. I'm going to run with it. I'm allowed to change up the coaching staff, and I'm allowed to edit the lines and do call-ups and send-downs. But who's on the team? Free agent signings, trades, drafting, that's solely up to Mike. So basically, I have to make the best of what I'm given to work with. So we'll see how this plays out. And, we'll test it out this season. If you guys are receptive to it, we'll stick with it. If not, we'll see what happens from there heading into that next season. But that is the game plan for today's episode, is to kind of see what this team is going to look like. I am going to try to fix the coaching staff situation after Mike kind of botched it last year. And we'll see ultimately what I have to work with as essentially a head coach at this point in time. As the Pittsburgh Penguins win the Stanley Cup, minimum salary I don't have to worry about. That's no longer my job to have to care. But the Pittsburgh Penguins again win the Stanley Cup, beating the Vegas Golden Knights in 6 games. Anaheim went on to the conference final before losing to the Knights. As we'll take a look at that Pittsburgh roster again, Brandt Clark, hell of a first round, just wasn't enough. But Jake Gensel, Justin Sourdif, Philip Hollander, Ryan Dzingel, Jason Zucker, Tyler Toffoli, Brian Rust, Dylan Dubé. What a mishmash of players this is. Jesus. That is an extremely bizarre team. Tristan Jarry, though, getting it done. 31 years old, still a member of the Pens, but you would have seen, of course, no Crosby, no Malkin. Different stage, different time for that team. So again, now we are 2 years removed from the Cup final. Alex Turcotte won the Art Ross and the Hart. Tyson Barrie won the Norris, so great year for LA, except for in the playoffs. Alex Turcotte also won the Lady Byng. Excuse me, that is unfortunate as the voice just gives out. You gotta love it. Chalmerson wins the Calder. Conn Smythe the Jake Gensel. Ilya Samsonov wins the Vezina. What else do we have here? Jack Adams to Nashville. Turcotte won the Selke, the Ted Lindsay, and the Rocket Richard. Good Lord. In the AHL, I don't know if that might be Blake Murray, who's a real player, but we're definitely at the point where, you have your Daniil Chaykas of the world, Markstrom winning goaltender of the year, Martin Jones winning MVP of the playoffs, but we're definitely at the point where a lot of computer-generated players are going to kind of run the show in the AHL. So let's move towards the draft. New Jersey moves up. We do not have a pick in the top 15, but New Jersey and Buffalo, big winners for the lottery. Retirements. I don't know if we're going to lose anybody. Patrick Kane and Jonathan Toews both retire. I said we were moving into phase 2, kind of a new era with this series. Couldn't have been more appropriate, as Kane and Toews both retire. We also see Alex Ovechkin retire and Sidney Crosby as a member of the Winnipeg Jets. We lose Kane, we lose Toews. It is a whole new ball game now. TJ Brody wins the... Well, not TJ Brody, I was thinking of Tyson Barrie in Toronto, of course, now on Los Angeles in this. It's going to be weird. Corey Crawford also retired. It is a new era in this series, a whole new set of circumstances. That is crazy. Patrick Kane, Jonathan Toews both retired. Oh, come on. Coaches, come on. Jamie Benn becomes a head coach. That sucks. So close. So close. So again, trade block wise, nothing I can do to show you what the settings are right now to essentially have it play out this way. This is still what we're rolling with. It's on medium scoring, but head coach edit line's obviously off. Minor league head coach is off, but auto-sign free agents still on, and that's the big one that really has the AI handle the trade block and everything else. Of course, staff management now. And we'll see what happens. Any offer we get, we take. Waiver claims, the whole shebang, you know the deal at this stage of the game. So with that, we go to the draft. Again, I have no control over what's about to happen here. We will sim to our first pick, which is 213th overall. Oh my God. Well, we have 2 picks in this draft, and that's it. And they're both right at the end. We take Baudin, the Baudouin, Pascal Baudin. Medium 7th, 57. Good God, Mike. Yeah, this is a great idea. And our next pick, our final pick of the draft, is a low top 6 defenseman, Parker Sturbach. Well, a very eventful draft there. Very, very eventful draft. All things considered, what a great start. What a great start. So to the re-sign phase we go. There is nothing I can do here. This is solely up to Milbury. So what we're going to do is we're going to sim to the final day and see how this goes. Wallstead, Niebeck apparently going to be back. That's very good news for me. But what is this squad going to be looking like here? As Alec Regula looks like he is going to be on the way out. That's not, an extremely detrimental situation. God, that Metropolitan deal. So Niebeck is back. Klopik, Flaherty. Okay, so there's not a ton to be concerned about there, but who's an RFA? Anybody? So Nordgren's been offer sheeted. Regula's going to be dropped. We're losing Faksa, Palmu, Zaitsev, Fitzgerald. Kayumov is being dropped. Meyer, Zaboral, Altai Barmakian, Fortan, Keene, Kurashev. Chief Keef there. Oh, boy. All right, so we're losing a decent amount of players, but we'll see what Mike does in free agency. We'll see if he's able to make the best of it. So I need to take a moment to reestablish the coaching staff here. We'll do this as quickly as possible. I'm literally going to fire everybody. Again, this part of it, I'm going to do it live because I don't want anybody being like, well, maybe you sent an offer when you jump cut it. I don't really think too many people are going to assume that I did. But, just for the sake of transparency, why not? So let's see what the coaching staff's going to be. So we have, okay. All right, this is promising. So we have Sylvain Belmar, who is balanced, 62%, 57 and 62. Cristiano Scoville, Who is this guy supposed to be replicating? Colorado's head coach, which is still Jared Bednar? I can't remember who the hell Colorado's coach is in real life. Hugo LeBlanc is supposed to, I guess, be Bruce Cassidy, which is fine, and he was our coach for a while. And then Belmar is supposed to be, I mean, I guess technically it would be Mike Babcock. I mean, I don't know if you'd consider it, if you would consider it Keefe or not. I mean, based off of the fit, it makes sense to have it be Scoville or Belmar. And it's just Belmar for his age is kind of perfect. So, oh boy. Okay. This is, screw it. If you think I cheated the system anyway or not, I don't care. I'm jump cutting this because this is going to take forever. We'll end up seeing what the staff looks like. All right, so thankfully, mercifully, I've sent out all of the offers. I hope that they are all accepted. That would be spectacular. Look here, only one offer out right now. It is to Gabriel Landeskog, which I think if I was in control, there is no chance in hell I'm going to give Landeskog a 4-year deal at 33 years old. So, oh boy, $9.6 million. And apparently we're going to be going after Gabriel Landeskog. So there you get the news, of course, of me firing my AHL head coach. So Belmar is on as our new head coach. Scoville I brought on as our AHL head coach. Again, owner mode's off. That's why I can send out these max deals. Some might consider it cheap to always get the best staff members, but hey, with the way the sim goes, why the hell not with how important a coaching staff is. Bernie Bouchard is on as a new coach. Jared Dika, the Dika. He signs as well. Bernier, who was, I think, our head coach last year, is now an AHL associate. Looks like everybody's going to accept. Fantastic. And, of course, a brand new scouting department is on the way as well. So excited to see how this plays out. More intrigued at some of these offers. So Garrett Pellick is on. I think that's everybody. Nope. Carpentier. I think we're good there. So we're going to have a top-notch coaching staff, a top-notch scouting department. Now it's just a matter of who we end up with. Potentially not just with somebody like Gabriel Landeskog. We get a trade, so Christian Melanin wasn't here for long. He and a 4th-round pick will be going to Calgary for 2 third-round picks. Scott Lawton is unhappy. Calgary also acquiring Kevin Hayes for a 1st-round pick. A lot of members of this team not happy. Oh, my God. 2 first-round picks for Barbashev and a 3rd. You wanted to see Milbury at his worst. Under what circumstances does that trade make sense? Someone on, let's just do it. Let's just do it. Olaf Lindbaum is gone, as is Ekman, a starter potential goalie, in exchange for $9 million worth of Kyle Palmieri. Freddie Ekman is 21. He's not that good, but Olaf Lindbaum, nice to have you here, buddy. We're picking up 30. Okay. Well, this is what you wanted. At least some of you. You're getting it. Enjoy. Sturbach's immediately being dealt along with a 6 for 2 5th-round picks. That's actually a pretty good deal to make those moves. Oh my God, this team is going to suck. Dante Fabro to the Jets along with a 4th for 2 seconds. Are we done, please? Apparently we've offered Brant Clark a contract extension. Thank God he's smart enough to do that. I can't believe none of the major names have been dealt yet, but now we're living in a Patrick Kane-less world. Jonathan Taves as well. We're going to have to name a new captain this season. Some decent shouts, some decent options. It looks like the damage is done for now, thank God. Too few players yet. Sign them for me. That's the issue. Mike just put us in the cap hell, so he couldn't even sign players. How many contracts are we going to have on this team? He mismanaged the cap so badly. We have 37 contracts with about $2 million in cap space right now. So let's take a look at what we have at our disposal. So goaltending-wise, it's going to be Wallstead and Skaric. We have Enland in the system. He's not much to write home about. Defensively, it's going to be Clark, Boqvist, Pulock, Dillon, and then we have a couple of options here. We do have a couple of options. God, our AHL team is just going to be a complete waste. So defensively, Ronick doesn't fit in on the third pairing. Nor does Aho. We don't even know about Steven Johns or Lawrence Nielsen, apparently. Which is ridiculous. They're on my team. So, I mean, again, we just know that he doesn't fit in well on that third line. Fits in well on the top line, but there's no way you're going to play there. And apparently Aho is even worse. How long is Ronick signed for? Just the year. Cool. Okay, so Lawrence Nielsen is at least decent. I don't remember if I made that draft pick or not. For the moment, I'm going to send down Ronick and Aho. I want to see how these other two fit on the third pair. Forward-wise, we still have Metropolit, Doc, Point, Eakin, Brinkett, Strome. And then from there, it's Virtanen, Niebeck, Barbashev, Palmieri, Lawton, Schlappick. Jake Wise also on the team. Okay, so we still have some other players who could potentially slot in. How am I going to make the most of this roster is the question. So if I go best lines, defensively, Nielsen's not a great fit either, unfortunately. Johns is okay. So if I compare Steven Johns with somebody, we'll be looking okay. So it'll probably be Ronick there. I think that's the best place to put him. So Nielsen's going to go down again. Aho's just not a good fit. So if anything, I guess it makes sense to keep... I don't want a healthy scratch Nielsen, so I mean Sebastian Aho's going to have to come back up. So let's take a look again at how I can possibly make this team half decent, if that is even possible. So we'll go best lines again. Okay, so Aho and Ronick actually work. I don't think I'd want these two together, though. I mean, they could both be two ways. They could both be two ways. We can actually make that pairing work, which is pretty nice. So we will probably go... I actually don't know who I want to go with here. Let's see. I mean, yeah, they all kind of even out in terms of how good of a fit they are. Pulock's a great fit, though, for that top line. So we could go Pulock, Clark, Dillon, Boqvist to start again, which isn't terrible. And then forward-wise, I mean... Wise is the healthy scratch right now. The top six is at least set, which is nice. It's just who plays where. And if we look at the team, I mean, in terms of a sniper, there's no better sniper on the team than Ned Eakin. So then you could have Metropolit as a playmaker or a power forward, which would be great. Potentially have him as a power forward, Kirby Doc as a playmaker. So let's say we do that. So power forward, playmaker, sniper. And then here, DeBrincat could be a sniper or a playmaker. I think here, it doesn't really help with the lefty-righty dynamic. But I think we could have Strome as a playmaker. I mean, technically, though, if we have Eakin, we wouldn't want him or Doc to be power forwards either. So, I mean, between this second line... Probably playmaker for Strome and Point, a sniper for DeBrincat, even though he's a better, option. Bottom line is the top six should be able to carry this team. From here, it's the third line. And I mean, Zion Niebeck, he's going to be a power play specialist. He does not fit in perfectly. I mean, I'm not really going to be able to get my wish of a grind line. Like Palmieri, Lawton, Virtanen could be a grind line. As unfortunate as that would be. Or, I mean, what would I even do here? Palmieri, Niebeck, Virtanen? I don't know if I'm going to even be able to have two ways in a grind line at this point. Like, this is tough to work with. In terms of centers, pretty much has to be Lawton and Schlappick, whatever the hell you want to call them. Which is kind of rough. Oh boy. This is nuts. Oh, this is not ideal at all. Oh, God. So, I mean, I guess we're looking at, like... I mean, Barbashev you'd think would have better face-offs than... it means it has a 79. Okay. What if... Hear me out. We go Nybeck, Barbashev, Virtanen, and then have Schlappick, Lawton, Palmieri. I think that, like, that right there has to be it. That has to be the combinations. It's not great, but it'll do. And, I mean, if we want these guys to be a skill line instead of a two-way factor, it at least works with the playmaker, sniper, power forward. Nybeck as a sniper is the right call. Barbashev can get away with being a playmaker. We'll probably actually leave that as is. And then the fourth line, I'll probably make them all two ways if they're not already. Just Schlappick needs to be changed over. So, a little bit of maneuverability, but for the most part, those are going to be the lines. And it's going to be interesting. I mean, especially with the goaltending, we don't have... like any depth here. I mean, Ryan Francis is going to be playing as we have nobody. Like, we have nobody in the AHL right now. This is abysmal. He didn't sign any AHLers. Let me know what you think. Who should be the captain of this team? Potential line combinations as well, as though this is about as good as it's going to be. But let me know what you think between the likes of Metropolit, Doc, Eakin, DeBrincat, Strome, and Point. Defensively, Clark, Pulak, Boqvist, Dillon. Who should be the leadership core of this team? And let me know what you think of the direction that we're going to take this. And in the next episode, we see what happens here in this first season. Mike. Keep in mind, we also don't have first-round picks. Oh, God, we don't have first-round picks. Oh, my God. What is our draft pick situation right now after that? Fantastic. Well, we better hope we win the Stanley Cup, because in terms of rebuilding through the draft, it's just not going to happen. It just isn't. But look at the coaching staff. At least that's overpowered and pretty, right? And the scouting department. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you all in the next one. Till then, support the video, support the channel, check out everything in the description, and a shout out to those on Patreon. I do love you all. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you all for your time. I will see you in the next one. God help me.